Gentlemen across the globe. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I want to talk to you guys about a possible solution for the heavyweight division. I'm going to let the chat load. The two on the chat, salute to you guys. I will hit the like button if you will. Alerts more people. This is rather a spontaneous live, like most of them. 2.31 has passed. Where y'all? Hey, we got 2 for 2. We got 4 for 2. We'll let YouTube roll it in. William Anderson, what do you mean by that? Carlos, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I may see you mañana. Tal vez. Chick, counterpunch to you. Let's get those likes up. When you guys come in, hit that like button. Soul Live, counterpunch to you. Man. Had some lamb for dinner. Gennady, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I'll be at the flea market down street. Come see me. I got you. Counterpunch, bro. Damn right. Vamos. Paul Hewitt. Maximus is in. Choose from UK. Counterpunch to you. Waco Flea Market. Oasis Cafe. Damn, did you switch places? Brennan Smith, a lot of people are saying that Otto don't have a chance. Look, every heavyweight has a chance. Don't believe the hype. Look, Dillian White ain't nothing but a man. You know, he might be the more talented man out of the two, but then you have to look at Otto Wallin. He made a good account of himself when he fought Tyson Fury and damn near pulled up an upset. That should have been a stop fight. It would have been it wouldn't have been a bad stoppage because the cut was too bad, okay? So, and then he beat Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale, if Otto Wallin was just another pick-me-up, keep-him-busy fighter, Dominic Breazeale would have got him out of there because that's Dominic's MO. Dominic will beat a regular guy or a guy that's coming up. He's like that gatekeeper on that side of the street, okay? So, there's more to Otto Wallin than a lot of people realize. Okay, so he hung in there. He took some big shots from Breazeale. Breazeale hit him with some uppercuts in the later part of those rounds that made him, test himself. Definitely. What's up, Kurt? Wouldn't politics and promotional companies make that impossible? Not really. Not really. I mean, let's look at it. We already exercised Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Other than that, if we're talking about Joshua Wilder, okay, or Usyk Wilder could be made, I admit, easier than Joshua Wilder. But it gets to the point where these fighters ain't got nowhere to hide. Eventually, they're going to run out of fighters. See, if Deontay Wilder beats Tyson Fury, he would then fight Dillian White. Okay, that would be their next 2 fights because, see, Dillian White will more than likely win with the WBC. If he has those Deontay Wilder lawyers, he would win, right? I mean, it's only right. They should give him his fair shake. Hold on a second. Go. Yeah, that's a lot better. Gennady, keep counterpunching. You damn right. Renee Padilla, what up? Real deal, Kurt DeVille. Bars. Paul Hewitt, Maximus in the house. There we go. I was like, okay, what's that other one about? My dyslexia like tripping or what? Am I seeing something crazy looking? Shock A. like one. What's up, Kurt? Big up to you from the UK. Big up to you, Shock A. Bars. William Anderson. Kurt, what's your topic for today? And hello to William Anderson. Heavyweight Super Series. That's my next thing. No weekend job, still at cups. Okay. Counterpunch to you. It's a good place. Good place. Benani, 50-50 fight. Otto Wallin, Dillian White. Well, let's look at Dillian White for a minute, man. You know, I like Dillian White and all. Dillian White, he just makes you want to root for him because he's been shitted on so much. He's a bad boy. He's a rude boy. He says whatever's on his mind. He's brash. He's outspoken. But at the end of the day, he still got knocked out cold. And when he came back to fight Povetkin again, that was a damaged, tampered, sick Povetkin. He was not 100%. So I think Otto Wallin would be a true test for him. Okay, I don't think this should be something that they should take lightly. I know Eddie Hearn is like, fucking hell, we'll make it. We'll make this fight. Otto Wallin's a good fucking fight, mate. Fight will make a lot of money, fucking CO. O2 Arena. Otto has a chance, young and skilled. That's right, Carlos. Counterpunch to you. JP, Kurt, what are your thoughts on Fury saying Wilder was going to sue him for 20 million, then he changed it to 80 million? JP, I think all that's a fucking lie. See, you know what that's a counter. He countered with a fake number that gets him away from the ridicule. Tyson Fury knows damn well that he shouldn't have ever jumped out on that JJ fight. I think at the last minute, they knew we probably can't beat this dude now. If we fight AJ now, AJ would probably kick our ass. That's what they were thinking. See, Tyson Fury don't let nothing come out of his mouth unless he wants something to be said. He said that, hey, you look at Conor McGregor, you look at this other fighter, they got beat because they weren't active. Because of their inactivity, they lost. Not because the guy was better than them, but they lost. You know what he's doing? If that fight would have got done earlier, Tyson Fury would have had an excuse. That's all that was. If he would have went in there and fought Anthony Joshua this year, let's say in July, okay, and then or whenever that shit was, and Eddie Hearn got that shit together a lot quicker. But it's fucking hard picking up a couch by yourself, right? You know, two could pick the shit up easy, but one, come on. You know, he was doing it all by himself. So, I mean, you can't really blame him at the end of the day. But if Joshua would have beat him, that would have regulated like, oh, I was out of the fight. I was out of the ring that long of inactivity. I told you guys before, you know. Joshua would have beat him. Tyson Fury would have had an excuse. And if they had no rematch clause, he would have took the WBC and ran off in the sunset. I wouldn't blame him. I would have pulled a Teofimo Lopez. William Anderson, heavyweights, AJ and Usyk in 7 days. Come on, AJ. Hey, at least we got that. We have AJ, Usyk. We have Dillian White, Otto Wallin. And I'm going to tell you guys something. If Dillian White loses, like I told you last night, if Dillian White loses, that's his ass. Mauricio Suleiman is going to, thank God. He's gonna, you know, he'll be glad. I was going to give Dillian White his opportunity, but unfortunately he fell to the gloves of Otto Wallin. So Otto Wallin does not get the opportunity Dillian White have, so we can still do what the fuck we want to do. You know, Dillian ain't fought a southpaw in a while. Walking can box and make it rough. He has to make it rough. because I think Otto Wallin's faster. He has to take that fight to Otto Wallin because Otto Wallin is going to pick him apart, or he's going to try to pick him apart in spots. That's what he's going to try to do. But as soon as the leather starts flying and Otto Wallin gets careless, he's probably going to get knocked out. I can see Dillian, unless Otto Wallin focuses on inside uppercut. So he's boom, boom, boom. He's a southpaw, so he'll stick that jab, come up under, boom. He could probably take Dillian White's ass out. You know what his kryptonite is. He also busted up Breazeale's face as well. He sure did. Paul Hewitt, Newcastle, UK. Breazeale was super out of shape and didn't even look like he wanted to fight, huffing and puffing. In the corner, Wallin will get destroyed, and Fury will look like a Dalsa for having a hard night work. Oh, no. I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, I think that Breazeale, he was out of shape. I mean, he didn't fight in 2 years. 2 years that man been in, and that was coming off of like a brutal first round knockout. So he probably got home and got fat. Dominic Breazeale eats like trash. That motherfucker don't. Dominic Breazeale just a big old dude. He's like the equivalent of he fights like Tyson Fury looks. Think about it. Look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's just a freak of nature because he looks like a fat ass, overweight, just regular ass dude, like overgrown dude. Dominic Breazeale looks the same, but Dominic Breazeale actually fights like his body looks. Let's say that. Just slow and out of shape and awkward and throwing punches. Like, damn, dude, did you slow your speed down? Somebody messing with the video? Parker versus Chisora 2, I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm not really crazy about that fight. Honestly. I'm not at all. How much for the shirt, Kurt? Well, this shirt is $45 because it's a Under Armour. But a regular shirt it's depends on where you're at, because if you're in the UK, shipping is like $25. So I normally try to discount it because you do have to pay for shipping or whatever. But I add that into the price, which normally is about 40 for the whole thing. Yeah, so 25 and 40, yeah. Counterpunch Boxing, you and other boxing channels are more interested than the fights themselves. Montreal Pitts. Well, I appreciate it, but I mean, I would like it to be the other way around. I like it to be just as equal. I like me to be just excited about the boxing as the boxing fight itself. That's the idea, I mean, it's a such thing as hyping a fight, but you want that fight to really mean something, not just all hype, because what that just means if I'm more excited than the fight, shit, I'm just like damn near low key 70% capping. I'm just building this shit up and it really ain't worth the hype. You know what I mean? You gotta love Fury. On the rise, what's up? Counterpunch to you. Do you think AJ will beat Fury, Kurt? Serious question. If they ever can fight, if they don't get beat by the people that's in front of them. Boxing is real funny, man. I'm gonna tell you guys, there's no bias here. This shit's fun. Boxing is one of them things you think is gonna happen one way, and just something comes out of nowhere, and you're like, no way. And you know what boxing says? Way. Way. Do you think we'll ever see Joshua and Wilder? Taj Vak, I think if they lost, and then even if they lost, see, here's the problem with those type of fights. That fight, it's either they both have to be on the top to want to fight. That fight has to be pushed by that particular reality. Because if it's not, let's say they both lose. Well, if Joshua loses, he has to fight Usyk again. If Deontay Wilder loses, he might not fight again. So it's a lot of stuff involved because they expected high expectations from the training that they've put in on Team Wilder's behalf. And they expect a good performance from Wilder and a great victory and all that. But what if they don't get it? That's going to put a monkey in their wrench. So they've lost twice back to the same motherfucker. The same cheating. Now you just got your ass beat by a cheater and you ran out of cheating excuses. That's bad because it's going to be hard to make up some shit at that point because now at this point, people really won't want to hear it. And they'll probably be trying to pull up with that little white van. You pull up at Wilder's house in the white van and shit and have him strapped to the gurney because they're going to think his ass is nuts. Let's hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Hey, Dirt v Kill, Alex Jacobson. Okay, I'm really looking forward to the next weekend. Usyk have the two ever crossed paths before. White and Wallin is a great fight. No, they've been on the same pinnacle because they're both golden Olympians. You know what I mean? At the same, but Usyk is like a two-time, I think, right? Fans are winning right now. AJ versus Usyk, White versus Wallin, Canelo versus Plant, Crawford versus Porter, and Del Boy versus Parker. Come on, boxing. Tropicana. That's a good amount of fights. If all of these fights take place, we will have a successful season of boxing. And we will see what the future holds. That's the thing. Boxing tells an unforetold story. A lot of it comes from corruption, things that people want to, and fighters they want to promote. And the fighters they want to promote is the fighters that have weird scorecards, that can't lose a decision, those type of fighters. Hey, they might have failed the drug test. Shit, we're going to let that pass. It's too much money at stake. Fuck you guys. Oscar's fighting. Kurt, who would be the real pound for pound king if Loma did not lose? I don't know. He fights like how Tyson Fury looks. I mean, JP, that's right. I mean, I ain't trying to be rude or nothing, but everybody, Tyson Fury knows he's bad built. He's just a bad built dude. He got them bent legs. That shit's funny, man. He got them bent legs, man. Look. Oh, Chris Shuck, counterpunch to you. Damn, he fights how how Fury looks. Look, I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, he does. Think about it. Think about how Fury looks. Fury looks like he can't fight for shit. Fury looks like that big old dude that gets his ass whooped in a bar. Come on now. Let's think about it. He looks like he can't fight. But then you see him throwing combinations and shit, you know what I mean? And you're like, damn, the motherfucker is kind of tricky, ain't he? Well, YouTube. Not only is he got, see, here's the thing. People talk about Wilder and shit, in fair play to him. They talked about Wilder for a while and he made up the excuse with the uniform and shit like that, costume. But Fury got skinny legs too, but his shit are bent. At least Wilder shit, he just got skinny legs, He just looks like he's been in prison. To lift these weights, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to lift no legs. So y'all big up top little ass legs. Fucking Tyson Fury shit like it's just like it's hilarious, man. This dude's legs is bent like fucking you know what? He looks slew-footed. He does look like he has acute slew foot syndrome. Yeah, it's not bad, but you can tell, like, damn, that shit looks. Damn, he got bent legs. Bambi legs. Yeah. Well, Bambi legs comes from the fact of the shaking. I never really seen his legs shake, to be fair. You gotta use these terms right now. Okay. E, um Ethero 369. We gotta use it right. Because if he had Bambi legs, the Bambi legs are like well, you know what? Bambi was on ice and the legs were kind of like that. So, I mean, I guess you could say that. Poor little tink tink. But if you notice, though, you hear Fury talking about like AJ and shit. He called him a carrot or some shit. What did he call him? What did he call AJ? He called AJ. Yeah, AJ's a carrot. Let's call him a carrot. Right? Yeah, because he looks better than me. He's buff and he has muscles. Fury be working out all day and still look the same. you look. All bullshit aside, you know what Fury should do though, really? Fury should actually, if he wins and he beats Deontay Wilder, and I guess he fights someone else like Dillian White, right? He needs to have surgery. Just get the man some surgery. You know what I mean? Get the man some surgery. Get that, like, all that back fat jello roll shaking shit he got back there that's connected to his fucking top part of his upper back. Get that shit out of it. Just suck it out. Put it in his legs. Put it in his calves or something. Because it's just like, I look at him and I'm like, damn. And he works hard. He works out hard. He's like a dude that like tries to get better at exercising. You know what I mean? He looks like he's the guy that wants to do better at exercise. I'm a good fighter, but fuck that. I want to look good too. Fuck you, Paris. Get out of the way. Oh, man. It's crazy. When Wilder loses, I wonder if he's going to blame his new coach. Ooh, Martins. Or is it Martinez? What is it? Is it G Martins or G Martinez? That would be some funny shit. He turned on Malik Scott. I told you half a faggot that shit didn't work. You ain't my brother, bitch. Deontay, I took a dive for you, man. I tried to tell you what you need to do. He was just faster than you. He was good than you tonight, but we'll get him. Man, fuck you. You lie. All that work training I did for that bullshit. Fuck skill. I had power. I should have went in there and did what I know to do. See, you tricked me. You jealous of me too. You jealous of me too. And you could hear it. He coming on Fred's channel. Yeah, he was jealous of me. He always was, because I tapped him and he went down like a clown. That's what it was. Had me working out and doing dumbbells and shit. I don't do that type of shit. JD's didn't make me do it. I'm going to hire him back. That's why I never really let him go. To this day. Have you ever had somebody that just didn't like you? No, not like that, but he turn on Malik Scott. That'd be some funny shit. That would be sad though, because it would really be somebody in denial like a motherfucker. I feel like Fury ducking Wilder. He probably didn't have COVID. I may do if I have time, because I might just crash after this live stream, but it's been a video I wanted to do about that, about a witness to that. I'm not going to say any names because I'm still going to do it eventually. But I don't know, man. I think it's just that whole thing was funny. And if you had any excuse, the excuse was there. COVID. You can use COVID for any fucking excuse you want. Because see, here's the thing about COVID. If you think you have COVID, you could just have the flu. You still by default have COVID symptoms. So you shouldn't be around anyone, because you don't want to go somewhere and get diagnosed. What you want to do, you want to quarantine because you're having COVID symptoms. So you can really pretty much do what the fuck you want to do. The only problem with Tyson Fury is Tyson Fury didn't do any of that shit. He didn't have enough time The week before he was training and getting beat up by fucking Big Baby, right? And Gerald Anderson, right? And like then another week, hey, he's sick, right? But the next week, so it was like 7, 8 days. Then he was like, oh, he's negative. I'm like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? It wasn't enough time. Joyce versus Breazeale would be a great slow fight. Parza, that fight would probably be, that shit should be on. No, Joe Joyce, he ain't been defeated. I was gonna say that'd be a good like boxing after dark. Remember HBO Boxing After Dark? John Harper. You know what? I hope we never hear anymore because we've heard enough. Parts of the world as we know it would end by the ninth round. Waiting on them to those two slow slugs. It'll probably be a good fight though, because it depends on Dominic Breazeale. It depends on Dominic Breazeale because if Dominic comes in, I think in shape, he could give someone like Joe Joyce some problem. He's bigger than Joe Joyce for one thing. On that interview was on the overlap. Yeah. Chick. Yeah, it was on the overlap. Parker versus Chisora 2 ain't what we asked for. No. I mean, Parker should took on somebody like Joyce. But see, well, hell, who is Joe Joyce fighting? Who's he fighting? See, I mean, I think what it is with Joyce, I think they're waiting for Joyce to see who is the winner to put him in position. So they're not trying to put him in there with somebody, even though he called out Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora, we all know he's fighting Joseph Parker again. So he wanted to fight him. He called out somebody else. I can't remember who it is, but Joe Joyce is another person that I think he only has one shot. So he has to make his decision, make it very carefully. Because if he goes in there and he loses, that's it. That's it for the Juggernaut. Parker promised him a rematch. Grim Reaper, I know. He did say that, though, so you got to give him credit for at least giving him the rematch. Is it Ortiz? Does he want Ortiz now? Any older fighter, I pray that they have one more good fight left in them. Because if they don't, you're just going to see an older person that used to be a very good fighter getting beat up. I don't care what anybody says. Luis Ortiz is ducked like Jehovah's Witnesses. Daryl Alexander, I'm with you, brother. Counterpunch to you. They ducked that old man. I don't understand why. You know what it is, though, Daryl? And I want you guys to listen up. Luis Ortiz fighting him, man, it's one of the dangerous things that anybody could ever do. And I'm going to tell you why. If people go in there and if someone actually took a chance in fighting Ortiz that was on the level and they lose all credibility when it comes to the heavyweight top 10. Okay, they might as well retire. Think about it. If Dominic's already done. He's done. Okay, he's never going to be on the top level. Okay. Joe Joyce wants that smoke, but does he really want that smoke? Because if he gets in there and starts getting countered by Ortiz, and he's not able to handle those counters because he's not fast enough. Because Joe Joyce ain't the fastest dude, man. And Luis Ortiz is a guy, he's always on the back foot waiting for the counter left. And what he does, if he hits you with the left, he's going to follow with that heavy ass right hook. And then he might hook back over with a left uppercut. That's what Luis Ortiz does. And he does that shit with mean intentions. He's ready to take your head off. Now, the saving grace with Joe Joyce is if he can hang in there with that old ass man, he could probably go in there and just not outwork him, but just wear him down. Wear him down. If he can wear him down, then where he gets the spitting between his fucking gloves. I'm like, that's some disgusting shit. If you guys notice that, you notice you notice he be like spitting and shit through him, but you can tell he's trying to spit out the saliva so he can breathe more because he needs some air. You know what I mean? You see him kind of try to do the Holly shit and like a big ass dude trying to do. It looks like he's doing a Humpty Dumpty dance instead of fucking the Ali shuffle. Luis Ortiz is a very technical fighter who can box and punch at the same time. He is a boxer puncher. People can say whatever they want, but he is more technical than most of the fighters right now at heavyweight division. Boxing for life, MFS. Counterpunch to you. Nobody ducked Ortiz. Stop it. Tropicana. That is 100 absolutely bullshit. A lot of people ducked Ortiz. You want to know who? The same guy we're talking about. Joe Joyce did. Andy Ruiz did. That shit wasn't that long ago. Andy Ruiz did absolutely nothing in 2020 but duck fighters. He ducked Dillian White first, and he straight up ducked Luis Ortiz. See, here's the thing. With Dillian White, he said the money wasn't there. You mean to tell me you're gonna go against the guy that gave you the two best fight purses and claim that same guy don't have the money to fucking give you when this motherfucker's a man of his word? When you fucking with Eddie, he's going, like, if Eddie's offering you something and you take it, he's going to pay you. Am I right or am I wrong? Gisora Ortiz would be nice to see. I would like to see that, Michael. I could see that, because if Ortiz, let's say Ortiz goes in there in his next fight and he looks bad. Okay, put him in there with Gisora. D Hodges, what up? Counterpunch in the chat. LDB, salute. Counterpunch to you, brother. Let's not give David Hay any airtime whatsoever. I'm from Scotland. Over here, he's seen as a ducker. What's your thoughts on Ajagba? I think he's a big young fighter that, I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to be the next Wilder. I do believe that. I think he's not going to, you're going to have fighters like Daniel Dubois that, if Dubois does something, with his career, if he fights Trevor Bryant or, what I mean? Those type of fights you'll want to see, but chances are you won't. JP, Joshua was the only one that didn't duck Ortiz. I can't argue with that because, see, with the Dillian White shit, Dillian White and Eddie Hearn were too quick to dismiss the opportunity to fight him, even after Derek Chisora asked for more money. I remember that shit. I was there. And I was the one, fight Ortiz, right? Fight this fucking guy. But then Dillian White claimed that he offered him money. And then this is what I honestly think with Ortiz. Ortiz has a manipulative team that secretly works, and they report to Al Heyman. So they supposed to be set up for Ortiz, but they really for Al Heyman, because that fucking $5 or $6 million million dollars that were offered to Ortiz, and then his team turned it down without even telling this fucking guy. Man, I love him. He's Cuban. I got people in Cuba and all that, but Ortiz can't be that fucking smart. He can't be that smart, because the moment I found out my team, my fucking management team, did something without me knowing about it, about me and my fucking career and my money and my family, I would have fired every one of them. I would have fired each and every one of them. Demetrius Abrams, what's up, Counterpunch? You doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I hope everything is well. They turned down AJ and all the belts. What a chance has White got. Look, my fight I want to see top, like this is the top echelon. It used to be AJ Wilder. I'm like, they both lost. Who cares? But Luis Ortiz, Dillian White, they were like once upon a time the second command. They're still high. See, as long as you got people like Andy Ruiz bullshitting himself through life because he got two paydays from AJ. See, that's pretty much. It's sad to say, but Andy Ruiz will pretty much be that. He will be another fucking. I'm not even gonna call him Buster Douglas, okay? Because I'll call him a Keith Mullins. If you guys don't know who Keith Mullins is, you probably won't. Do you guys know who Keith Mullins is? Don't Google him. Just tell me yes or no. Conor Ben versus Eubank Jr. catch weight. Nah, Conor Ben's too small for Chris Eubank. That's like Chris Eubank calling out Tony Bellew. No, it's just too much difference in size. No, you don't want that. Nah. Okay, Grim Reaper, no. Okay. Keith Mullins was a welterweight. He was an ex-Marine. He was a welterweight, right? And he upset Terry Norris. Terry Norris was about to fight Oscar De La Hoya for fucking $1 million deal. Okay, it was going to be a super fight, right? And then Terry Norris got in there with a guy that never been dropped to the canvas. He never been dropped. He never been down. He's lost a few times at that time. Keith Mullins went in there and knocked out Terry Norris. Knocked him out. Terry Norris missed out on all that fucking money to fight Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar De La Hoya was a golden boy. Okay, so he had that type of of star power. If you fight Oscar De La Hoya, you're doing something. Why do you think Floyd Mayweather wanted to fight Oscar? Because that's the dude to fight. He knew, I want to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Why do you think Shane Mosley wanted to do the same thing? Everybody wanted to fight Oscar because that's where the money was. How do you think Ortiz versus Fury would go? Brennan Smith, honestly, I don't think that fight will ever happen. Because, there's a such thing about Tyson Fury is arrogance. He'll say some shit like, I'm not going to fight anyone as old as Ortiz. He has old legs. He's 137 years old. I wouldn't do that to the chap. The old geezer, I would take him out. I would knock him out in 5 rounds, and that's being pity. That type of shit. He would never fight him. He wouldn't even entertain the thought of fighting Ortiz. But I'm telling you guys, the reason why people don't want to fight that fucking guy is because if they go in there and they get knocked out, they would be the laughing stock of the heavyweight division, and they would lose all stripes in the heavyweight division. Why do you think these guys are going forth now and they're only waiting for certain opportunities? Because they know if I fuck around and I lose, it's going to put me back 2, maybe 3 years. That's even if the 2 or 3 years I don't get beat again, trying to get back to where I was. Okay, that's the problem with the heavyweight division right now. You know what I mean? And a lot of fighters, everybody's trying to wait their turn, wait their time. Dillian White, he's fighting Otto Wallin. I'm glad it's at least it's a known fighter that has a history with his rival. So we can say that much. Because Otto Wallin gave Tyson Fury all he could handle, right? Being a shorter, smaller southpaw cat, being just driven and focused and busy. And he put the pressure on Tyson Fury. He made Tyson Fury come up and create openings. Not to say he didn't do it, because Tyson Fury won that fight, people. I'm not a delusionist. Please do another Floyd impression. Best boxing impressions in the game. Ethro _369. Yeah, I mean, that's what Floyd did. Floyd, let's hit that like button. We got 90 people on here. Let's hit the like button. We need to show love. We need to show some love. Fury says the same sort of excuses about Usyk, not age, but size and power. Jambone Gaming, exactly. He's not going to give anyone the opportunity, or should I say, the satisfaction of knowing that they're dangerous, knowing that they're talented, or knowing that they have a good, or give him a good fight. You know, I mean, that's the type of shit Tyson Fury does. And he talks as though he's been kicking every ass since he's been back. He hasn't. Okay. See, Otto Wallin, honestly, though, is a guy that was handpicked for Tyson Fury. He was handpicked for Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury started a new contract with a new promotional company, ESPN, Top Rank. Okay, so they needed people like Tom Schwartz. They needed Otto Wallins, but they needed someone. They wanted to boost his confidence because they knew, and they wanted to build his profile in the States, and that really didn't do so well because, I mean, look at the ticket sales. I mean, the numbers don't lie about that shit. They gave away a shitload of tickets in the Tom Schwartz fight. Nobody knew who he was. The face-off really was like turned into a damn model exhibition because they're all picking each other up and posing and shit. I'm like, what's Tom Schwartz on? What's him? What is he about? What is it? An exotic dance or some shit? I don't know. He danced around Wilder for 5 or 6 rounds, didn't he? Do you think Fury's 100% fighting Wilder now that he said that he would have to pay him 80 million to duck him? Have you heard if there's an expiration date for that? Pegando. That's what Tyson Fury said. But just because Tyson Fury said it don't mean it's fucking true by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? If that was the set number, and that was the number that they told him, the $80 million number would have already hit the surface. That $80 million number was fucking made up on the fly. He was just talking on the beach to a guy that he's got comfortable talking to, interviewing. You know how much they would have paid me? You know how much they would have sued me for? $80 million. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Nobody will sue you for $80 million damn dollars. Winky Wright wanted De La Hoya too. I did a promo work for Winky around that time when Winky fought Hopkins. Hey, that was a good fight, Winky and Hopkins. Because Winky is he is one of the most troublesome southpaws because he doesn't put all the power on his shots, but he's quick enough to throw those punches out there and score. You know, he just scores and he covers up. He has great defense. He's a very fair-skinned guy, and a lot of times you think he's taking punishment. Well, he's taking punches from him blocking because he was very good at cupping, and the cupping blocking that he was performing was very good. When he fought Fernando Vargas really didn't hit him flush for any stretch of the imagination, and he came back and he would, and he would straight, and if you're on the line, he's going to eat your face alive because he can touch you. Just reach out and touch you. He might put some power behind it every so often, but Winky Wright was a very difficult fighter. And you know what? Looking back at Winky Wright, well, let's say this. Looking back at De La Hoya, fighting guys like Felix Stern that beat De La Hoya's ass with a jab, Winky Wright would have destroyed De La Hoya like he did Trinidad. He would have destroyed him. Otto underrated. Well, yeah, we'll see how underrated he is. Ben Adams says, I can't wait till Usyk beats racist AJ. Ortiz versus Breazeale would be a good fight. No, it wouldn't. Luis Ortiz would knock out Dominic Breazeale if he had enough energy. If he didn't punch his, if he wouldn't get tired, he would knock out Dominic. They would end up stopping it because he would hit Dominic Breazeale with too many shots. The way he counters, The way he catches and shoots, no, man, that wouldn't be a good fight. It wouldn't. Maybe a couple years ago. Maybe in 2019, that probably would have been an ideal fight for both fighters. At least give him Martin or Hunter or someone. That would be good. I would love to see. Hunter and Ortiz would be a good fight. Hunter's a good damn fighter, man. He's a real good fighter. I think Hunter lacks power. That's one thing. He's not a huge power puncher. But can he counter? Can he box? Yeah. Does he get a little wild at times? He does. Like he did with Povetkin and the Bakali fight. But, you know. Imagine Wilder getting stopped again in the trilogy. Well, you know what though? This time, if he gets stopped, it's gonna be a bad. It's gonna be bad because what's gonna happen is he's talked all that macho. I'll die in the ring and bullshit like that. If he gets his ass in the same situation, he's not able to defend himself, and everybody's expecting him to pull some hat out of his ass. You know what's gonna happen? He would get knocked all the way out, probably knocked out the ring. I mean, to the point where, see, if that fight wouldn't have been stopped, Tyson Fury would have beat him. And people don't understand. Deontay Wilder could have ended up like Adonis Stevenson in the fucking hospital in a coma because he didn't know when to fucking quit. His head trainer, JD's, didn't know when to fucking quit. It took the secondary trainer that actually knew what was going on to stop the fight. But this time, if he gets in trouble with Tyson Fury, they're going to purposely keep the fight going on just because he wouldn't want them to stop it. Funny how Fury never talks about Usyk. The one time Fury mentioned Usyk, he said he wouldn't fight him because Usyk didn't make money. Sounds like he don't want any part of him. JP, he doesn't want any part of him. He did mention Usyk though, in reference to Wilder. He said, "Please don't Wilder, don't." I mean, we talking about AJ. He said, "Please Usyk, don't beat, don't fight AJ because you might beat him. You take my retirement money." That's what he said. "You'll take my retirement money." Has Usyk ever fought Michael Hunter? If not, why does he think it's time to fight AJ? Caft T. Listen, the only person that Michael Hunter has lost by is Usyk. Usyk, look, it was a good fight. I mean, Michael did his thing. It wasn't just a shutout, but that fight could have been stopped in the 10th round. Michael Hunter ran out of gas, and Usyk started taxing that ass. Now, the thing is, if Usyk was a powerful puncher, he would be dangerous. You know what I mean? It would really be like one of those 50-50 fights because this guy can punch too. His thing is technical skill and stamina, focus and just mental strength. You know what I mean? He's going to take shit and he knows because he expects it because we're in a fight. See, Usyk was prepared to take that shit from Derek Chisora. He knew that. That's why he covered up. He used his distance. He smothered when he could. He countered when he could. He did a lot of things when he could. Wilder versus Joshua is the major heavyweight fight. Both fighters coming in with one loss apiece. What do you think? I would like to see it, but I mean, only if it's right. You know what I mean? Because see, if they both lose, they won't come in with one win, will they? They'll have a couple losses apiece. No belts, unless Wilder can beat Usyk in the rematch. But even if he does, and Deontay Wilder gets beat, they'll still have a couple losses apiece. So I don't think that everything would change because see, when Deontay Wilder, though, if he loses, His marquee value goes down. And I mean, if he loses again, like those type of things that was offered to him by the zone, that shit's not gonna be there. You know what I mean? He just pissed that down. Even if I don't even know if it's there now. I don't particularly like Fury or Wilder, but I seriously hope Fury smashes the living rear off of Wilder. Please God, Kathy W. Look, it will be what it'll be. But one thing we don't know what will happen, honestly. Do you think Jared Anderson is ready to step up? I don't know. Depends on who they want to bring him, step him up to. You know, Usyk's gonna be the usual. Is going to be the usual Usyk, or he's about to surprise Joshua and us all by trading and throwing heavy leather. Pagando, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna probably stay in the pocket, slip those big shots by AJ, and throw in land his own. If he's able to do that, Usyk and win, he's an absolute beast, and people will be fucking. You imagine like fucking Wembley, not Wembley, but Tottenham Stadium, seeing Usyk in there fucking blitzing Joshua and slipping punches and countering Joshua. You know what I mean? And making Joshua looking crazy. That is going to be a hectic ass crowd. But here's the problem though. I'm so sick of redos. Like Tyson Fury and Wilder wore us out. So it's like, if Usyk does beat him and gets the belts, does he have to fight him right away? Ghetto Love, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I've just got the feeling Wilder KO Fury, and it will be another rematch. I just have got it. Michael, if them fucking jackasses go another fight just because Wilder won, and Wilder, and you know what? If Wilder still wants to pursue that, we can give him another rematch. I want a body, and I want him to be my body. I'm going to finish him off now. I knocked you out 2 times already. Now I'm going to kill you. I'm like, dude, are you fucking sick? Are you sick or what? You still running after fucking the cheating gypsy and all of his people? Come on now. And you still want it? Nah, that, like, dude, you got some kind of mental block or something. Something is fucking wrong with you. I want Fury. Here's the money. Fuck the money. I want Fury. Thoughts on Triple G and Morata, which is booked for December. Ethro. Man, Triple G, please retire. Just retire. I'm tired of looking at him. His day is done. It's over for him. His problem was he chased Canelo into a second fight where he could have been fucking defending the belts that he's worked so hard to get. Counterpunch. I'm tired of Triple G. I'll watch it if he's fighting, but motherfucker ain't fought since when? Steve Rolls? When did he fight Steve Rolls? Like early last year or some shit? Like at the beginning of COVID? I don't know. Wilder doesn't have the belt unless he beats Fury. That's right. And like I told people, that's what Tyson Fury said. It's not even about the WBC. Counterpunch. Triple G versus Jamal would be crazy. Triple G should fucking fight somebody besides Canelo. I want Canelo. Dude, sit your ass down. No, you don't. Hey, a new impression. Wilder not bad, but nothing's better than your Mayweather. Chick, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Huey Fury versus Hunter. You know what? That sounds so basic. Huey Fury? No, no, no. How about Pulev, Michael Hunter? I think that would be a very good fight. If Lopez keeps running, who is he going to fight? I have no idea. I just hope he doesn't turn into a fucking Gary Russell Jr. But he's not going to be able to do that long anyway with all those belts and the mandatories. So boxing public waited months to see and hear the proof Wilder had only for nothing to be revealed. Lee Perkins, you know, you can't argue with that. What can you argue? Kurt, knowing Loma wouldn't grant Lopez a rematch, why do people feel Lopez should grant Loma a rematch? Made to last. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because he's not fucking Lomachenko. That's why. Teofimo is not Lomachenko. That's why he should. That's a seniority, respect, acknowledgement type of thing. The shit Teo is on is he ain't trying to fight nobody regardless of the money. But it's like, okay, that's what you're fighting for, dummy. So why aren't you fighting that with your promoters? Probably now we knowing what Bob Arum might be close to getting the fuck up out of here because I've never seen him put up $10 million for a fight. Hell, I remember when he was complaining about $1 million. We got $1 million, and that was good enough for everybody. '78 Sports still calls Wilder the WBC champion. He's like, and still. Yeah. If you were going to place a bet, Kurt, on AJ versus Usyk, how do you see it ending? Oof, Kathy, I don't know. Don't bet on me. You do that shit with Showtime, not over here. I don't do those bets because you don't know what will happen in that fight. You don't know what'll happen because you know if AJ gets hurt like he did with fucking Andy Ruiz, he gets fucking shot. It's gonna be bad for Anthony. Because fucking Usyk's gonna blitz him until they stop that shit. And AJ will just fucking fall. It's like, the ruse repression is equally great. Please God, let Eddie call me. Please God, let Eddie call me. Fuck you, Alexander Usyk. I'm sorry, God. I didn't mean that. I just want another opportunity. I want the Reynosos in the group proud of me because everyone's winning. 78 and him, the American heavyweight champion of the world. AJ between 6 and 9. Okay. I have the exact same opinion. That's why I asked. Don't bet on that shit, Kathy. Don't do it. You don't know what the hell's going to happen in that fight. You won't know until we know. You won't know until we know. That's the thing about shit. See, anybody can look back after, oh yeah, you know he was gonna. No, you did not. You didn't know what the hell was gonna happen. That's why I'm telling you the way I'm telling you. I'm telling you he forced Bud into an extended contract so he could keep Crawford in the family and make more money off of him. Okay. Is Andy Ruiz a one-hit wonder? Split decision loss to Joseph Parker. He beats Anthony Joshua by 7th round TKO. He loses to Anthony Joshua by a unanimous decision 6 months later. He turns down a fight, claims that a fight wasn't even there for Dillian White. He totally ducks Luis Ortiz and said it's not time. He fights Chris Arreola and find out, damn, he's not even as durable we thought he was. Yeah, I mean, because we don't know what and who he's going to fight unless he's fighting someone that's less dangerous or has less of a resistance. You know what I mean? They're trying to market Andy Ruiz because they know he's around a circle, a school of people. South Africa tabletop, Poindexter, the house, counterpunch to you. And they know that. So they try to match these fights up. Okay, so um no, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Andy, he'll probably take another bullshit fight. And then if we see him take another bullshit fight, it's gonna be like, okay, man, nobody really, nobody talks about that no more. Think about the numbers like Wilder, Wilder and Ruiz. That used to be a pretty good fight. Numbers don't lie. People are interested. People will watch it. But if it's the same old shit from Andy, I'm losing 30 pounds. I'm ready to go. My knee is feeling good after 2 fucking days. Now, how the fuck that happened? I'm doing squats. I'm like, damn, what kind of knee surgery did you have? Would you cover some fucking skin, some wrinkles and some shit? Would Ruiz beat Wilder? No. John Harper, hell no. Wilder's too tall. Andy Ruiz is too short. It's almost like David Tool without the punching power fighting Lennox Lewis, and still Lennox Lewis still taxed that ass. Wilder would eat Ruiz whole. He would. He'd be hitting him upside the head and shit. He'll take that. Bow. Oh. He'll probably knock out. You know what? Abel Sanchez the other day said something. He's like, hey, he'll go to sleep at Wilder. That means Wilder would knock his ass out. Don't mess with Wilder when it comes. See, Ruiz, he'll probably try to come in with a jab and gets caught with the right. And it'd be fucked up. If he caught Ruiz, he would probably have his ass on a gurney, carrying his ass out of the ring. Like, I just believe that. I wasn't ready. All I know, I was in there with Deontay. I threw a good jab to close the distance, and all I seen was stars. And I woke up, my wife was crying. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And they explained to me what happened, and all I could think about was a Twinkie. And a Snickers. I think Ruiz has a chin, though. I don't think he has. I think that shit was left with the fucking weight that he used to have. Because he got caught with a shot. Pow! Oh! Would you call Jonathan Banks a champion? He was the IBO champion at heavyweight. Nico, let's look at it this way, right? Does Anthony Joshua pay his sanction dues to the IBO? Because you can't have it both ways. Wilder has go-go gadget arms. We need those fights so we can see not just who we think will win, how it needs to mix it up. Well, it's a hard sport to keep going, to keep interest, to keep things buzzing. I think that's what we're for. We got to let you guys know what's going on in the sport, what's happening in this situation, what do we think happened in this situation, and so forth and so forth. But like Andy Ruiz not fighting Ortiz, that fight should have happened. Fuck Chris Arreola. No disrespect, but he should have never fought Chris Arreola. He should have fought Luis Ortiz. That's the guy on his banner. That's the creme de la creme. That's the top of the guys besides Wilder, and he just got beat. So he could have fought these guys. Charles Martin, he could have fought him. That never happened. I would like it to happen, but it is what it is. We need these fights so we can see not just who we think will win, how needs to mix it up. Looks like Usyk is already above 230. That's wild. AJ is expected to be below 240. I think Usyk has a lot to win, but little to lose. I'd expect the unexpectable. Yeah. Ortiz a warhorse. Yes, he is. But yeah, I think it should be a heavyweight competition. I think it should be a super series. And I think that's the way to get everything together without fucking bullshit. Good morning from Blackpool. Counterpunches you, Mark Kinsella. David Jones. Hope AJ ain't looking at Usyk as an easy run because I've seen Usyk train videos and I think Usyk is good for real. He's going into the fight with nothing to lose. Paul Meadows, yo, Kurt from the UK, still watching from the night shift. 4 a.m. year on your 4 a.m. a year on you're the main man, brother. Respect, Kurt. Appreciate you, man. Is Lopez running for leverage because he doesn't have the resume for an automatic? I don't know. I have no idea. Um, but he has to fight Cambosos or he loses one of those belts. I don't know if he gives a shit or not, but it is what it is. Go, Diego, go. Shout out to you from Counterpunch Boxing News. I'd like to see Shannon the Cannon go on one more. I guess. Because Shannon, I think he gets popped with so much shit. You know. I agree. Ruiz could have fought Ortiz, but him waiting a tune-up isn't ducking. Ducking is trying to avoid a fight altogether. No, it's not. You have different forms of ducking, different levels of ducking. You know, where does Chisora go if he loses to Parker? Retirement. Al Day, counterpunch to you. Thanks for answering legit questions, man. Appreciate you. But guys, I wanted to chop it up with you guys real quick. It's been fun. I got to take a flight at 4 a.m., so I'm going to sign off. You guys, well, I'll see you on the AM. Got some fire videos coming at you. They will be dropped tomorrow in the morning for you guys. Well, in the afternoon for you guys and in the morning for us. So you guys stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys coming on. And everybody on the chat has been Counterpunch. Peace.